Hey, how you doing? Today I want to talk about something very important. In today's economy, you, me, and any high-ticket coach, consultant, or expert face this very huge barrier. What is this? It's skepticism. Skepticism is one of the biggest leading contributors to low conversions, to struggling to build a business, struggling to scale, and it's a real and serious problem. And if we don't know how to tackle this, if we don't have the capability or the tools or the resources to break through this, then you end up struggling and you're not able to build a successful business. So today I want to talk about the topic of how to get high-ticket clients, but most importantly, I want to talk about message to market fit. Because here's the thing, so many people, and I see this time and time again, who are struggling to get high-ticket clients, to build a high-ticket business. If you're a coach or consultant, this is your primary focus. Right now, today, message to market fit. If you want to have leverage, if you want to have the resources and the capability to stand out in this crazy marketplace and break through that skepticism barrier, this is how you do it. There's nothing more important. Because people that don't know you need to get to know you. And the only way they get to know you is listening to what you have to say. And when you say the right thing and you have the right message and you care about the people that you're working with, then everything changes. So let's go on a journey today and we'll talk about some cool stuff. Now I help coaches, consultants, and experts. We have a 3-phase formula, which I'll talk about in a second, which is super important if you want to build and grow a successful high-ticket coaching consulting business. We help our clients get to $100,000 a month, 60 to 80% profit margins, 7 times faster, and without overwhelm. The big ticket problem in our industry is the overwhelm, so much craziness, no systems, no clarity, and so it's causing a lot of people to get frustrated and stuck. Now this is our 3-phase formula. You cannot build a successful high-ticket coaching and consulting business without these. It's impossible. And it might seem obvious, but I'd see a lot of people not putting enough value into these, especially if you want to have a successful business that's growing and is not draining you and wearing you down. Firstly, if you've been watching any of my videos, you'll know the 3 phases. First phase, equity. You need to have equity. You need to have a value proposition that is so desirable, your clients just can't resist. You need to be so desirable your clients can't resist, and that's super important. If you can't do that, you'll never be able to sell those $5,000 to $50,000 high-ticket programs, packages, or consulting services, because people are just not going to be interested. So that's the first phase, right? Pillar 1, equity. Pillar 2, or phase 2, is trust. The low trust economy we have these days, to break through this barrier, you need to have a trust factor. You need to have the tools and resources to build your business so that people trust you. And admiration right now is one of the key metrics to breaking through the trust barrier. Right now online, status, or should I say, authentic status, meaning that you're somebody of value, people want to do business with you and they see you as an expert and an authority, and there's a way to do that online. Right now we have the capacity through social media, through advertising, to be able to break through this trust barrier very easily if you know how to do it. And finally, control. So many people want to build businesses that are autonomous, that are looking after them, but they make it so complicated, so complex that it's driving them nuts. And ultimately they end up with this burning out. They burn out because they haven't got control of their business. If you don't have the foundational systems in place to build a business successfully, you get to a point where it becomes so overwhelming. Clients might be coming in, you've got deliverables, you've got all this stuff going on, and it can be very overwhelming. I've experienced that, I've seen that, I have had burnout, and this is why I developed the system, because I believe there's a better way to do business online these days. And so the idea of control is to create systems so simple, you become unstoppable. When you're unstoppable, you can keep growing exponentially. It's taking the foundations, the simplest component of your business, and then plugging in the layers to build out your business. Right, so we have a very unique method of doing this. I made $4.2 million over the last 2 years, and this is how I've done it. This is our red diamond funnel. It's simple, it's structured, it's straightforward. There is nuances and some complexity in the baseline of the system, but once it's set up, it looks after itself. We call this the red diamond funnel, and inside of the red diamond funnel, we have all of our components: equity, trust, and control. So this is the core fundamentals of building a world-class high-ticket coaching and consulting business. We've been doing this for more than a decade now. We have high-ticket coaching clients, $15,000 clients. We have $50,000 clients that we work with. And we've got multiple businesses, real estate, business consulting, and we've done very well over the last while, and it's because of systems. Here's the thing, I'm going to talk about this message to market fit. This was our original business that we started in real estate. The real estate niche, as you know, is highly competitive. It is tough to break into the real estate niche. I can tell you that without the processes and systems and the things that I'm talking about, any business wanting to accelerate, especially in competitive niches, needs to have their market to message. And I'm going to talk today specifically about this headline. This is a website of our business and it performs exceptionally well. We've got a very high conversion rate on this. And I'm going to talk about the core element of this, and it's the message. Now, what's unique about our whole structure is not that we've sold millions of dollars worth of products and services, is that our ad spend has been super low. The ROI, the return on investment, has been crazy. And we've helped our clients make more than $5.8 million in recurring revenue over the years. These are snapshots of our Facebook account. I'm going to show you our live account in a minute, but I want to get back to this because this is what we're talking about today, is your message to market fit. Now, without that clarity, without that message, it is very hard to get good conversions, to get loyal clients, to get a lower cost in your advertising spend. It's fundamental mechanics. The numbers speak for themselves. But when you get it right, when you get that message just honed in and you're speaking the language of your clients, everything changes. It becomes a much easier, much more fluid conversation. And your clients, when they're coming onto sales calls, are more open, they're more ready to take action. So it's a very important aspect of the whole marketing process. Now, today I've provided a download. If you go into the description, it's a template for you to help create the perfect message for your clients as a high-ticket coach or consultant. I would highly suggest you go and check out the tool and work through that template and really get clear about your messaging, because your message to market fit is a fundamental baseline component of what you do in your business today. I'm going to show you a sample of what we did, and it absolutely changed the game for us. Now, the core message is really understanding what's going on in your client's head, because if you're not meeting them in that space, there's a disconnect and people get more skeptical. With your ads, you can throw hundreds of thousands of dollars into advertising and never get a breakthrough because you haven't got that clear message. And the psychology of it is super important, right? There is so much goes on. Today we're thrown with so much crazy messages. The messages are driving us nuts, right? People coming from every direction. AI hasn't made this any easier. People copying and pasting AI messaging. Write me ahead, AI. They got this, everybody's messaging sounds the same these days. It's nuts. So in order for you to stand out, it's very important to get clear about how you can be unique in the space and breaking through that barrier. Because if you don't understand this, then you're going to be lost. And the one thing that I would like to mention and note, and I spend a lot of time and energy trying to understand the nuances of marketing, and AI coming into the whole mix right now is a vital component to building a business, a successful business. We plug AI into literally almost everything we have in our business now, but we don't replace one thing or two things, right? Because you need the human aspect to make AI work. If you remove your human aspect out of the AI equation, you're going to be breaking your system, or you're going to be sounding just like everybody else. It's important to understand that empathy is the one thing that AI can never replicate. So this is one of your key leverage points. The next big one is authenticity. Empathy and authenticity. If you can work on these leverages, these leverage mechanisms, AI is never going to be able to beat you. You will become irreplaceable. So right now, so many businesses are at threat because of AI, overwhelm, mistrust, skepticism. But these are the two core ingredients that will never go away. In whatever messaging you do, whatever messaging you create, when you have these two as a baseline, it's going to help you stand out. And the last one that AI cannot really replicate is true, right? And I make this true. Creativity. AI right now bases all of its outputs on data sets that are created by humans. Data sets that are limited in their functionality. Those data sets can never replicate these mechanisms because humans have got evolution, we've got life experience, we've got emotion. All of these things create something unique in humans that can never be replicated by AI. An AI machine has never had a life experience. It's never going to be able to be authentic because it uses data sets that have already been created. It can mix and match what's already there, but it doesn't have that emotion in all of that. So a key element of what I would like you to understand and to think about this and to have in all of your messaging is these core components. If you do this, you break through those barriers and you help to leverage through skepticism. Now, it's super important to know that, and I think a lot of people forget about this, and they're trying to do the one-hit wonder. They want one ad to work one time and get people over the line straight away. One social post that they're going to create, and that's going to be their magic formula. And it doesn't happen like that because your clients are on a journey, right? Everyone is on a journey. There is pain, there's problems, there is obstacles, right? These are all fundamentally the reasons why people want to take action, right? They have these things going on in their life. And this is where primary message comes into play. And it's a super important component because if you don't have your primary message, your core message, right tied into your whole business, everybody has pain, right? And in this area, most people that you deal with in the high ticket space are going to be aware of their problem and they're going to be aware of multiple solutions. So they're getting hammered by advertising coming in all the time. Now, it doesn't matter that if people have problems or pains or obstacles, sometimes they don't take action. They have a problem with a specific thing, right? Maybe you're driving your car and you hear a noise in the engine. Now it's concerning you, but you're tight on time. You've got a lot going on in your life. You're working through it. You think it'll be okay. So this noise in your car engine keeps going. And it could be fine for months and months and months even. It's there, it's annoying you, you know you got to do something about it, but you don't, right? But at some point, that noise then becomes a problem. All of a sudden, boom, your car stops. Now, something happens. It becomes a priority. It turns from the thing that's in your life that's causing you frustration to now a priority where you want, when that becomes a priority, you want to get a solution. You want to make something happen. You have a desire to get back on the road and get back on track. Or you desperately need that. Now, depending on how severe that urgency is, because urgency is now the next driver. Urgency is a huge driver. I want to do something, but now how urgent it becomes is how quickly I'm going to take action. For example, you might have a second car. Your car's broken down. Now you might have a second car. So it's not that important. You use the second car for now to continue your life. Not saying you would have a second car, but some people do, right? They have a second car. Now they can take action on that, and it is not as urgent as what it may seem. But if they didn't have the second car and they only had one car, and that car was the only way they could get to their destination, to see their clients, to go to work, whatever that is, that urgency is escalated. Now, urgency is a relative context to selling. And obviously, it can be created or it can be natural. If you're going to create urgency, you can do that in multiple different ways. And I talk about that. I show all my clients how to use urgency effectively and the psychology of breaking through using urgency and not just being scarce, but to be real valuable, so that they understand that if they don't work with you right now, there is going to be serious consequences in their life going forward. And if you can map that out, you can increase that urgency. Anyway, I digress. So they want to take action. The want is where your core message comes into being, because now they're going to be looking around, researching, trying to understand it. For instance, say you have a child, and today ADHD is a big context out there. A lot of families and children out there are being struck with this notion of ADHD. It's a very complicated topic. I don't know a lot about it, but I do have kids and I have friends who have kids, and I understand that there is a dynamic about ADHD. Now, if you wanted to go and treat your children, one of the biggest subjects that we talk about these days is whether to give them drugs for ADHD or to try and find natural therapies. Most parents I speak to, there's a 50-50, right? Because some people think that the drugs or the medication will help alleviate this problem quicker and it's more effective, it's a faster result, whereas doing things naturally take longer, commitment, time, energy. And so there's this balance around it. Personally, I believe in doing the natural therapies. And so here's the thing, they're doing research, they need a market to message fit, meaning they're at a place right now and they're looking for somebody that's going to service them at the place where they are struggling with that particular want. Now, I'll come back to our website here. I'm going to show you in a minute what we've done. Now, I spent a lot of money on trying to understand messaging, trying to get clear about messaging. I spend money on this in a way that I can be confident knowing that in my market share, I can break through and I have leverage because I've put money behind that messaging. Now there's cheaper ways and there's expensive ways to do it, but I don't have in our business the time and luxury to go out and individually speak to a lot of people. So I have to use leverage of advertising and money to make these things happen a lot faster. Now you can do it organically, you can do it in a slower pace, but it needs to be done. You need to validate your market to message. Now in the download that I've given you, it will give you clear indications on the steps and formulas and formats that you can use for clear market messaging. But I'm going to highlight a few things here. This heading here, in the context of real estate, negative gearing is an Australian term where your property is costing you more than what it's making, right? So it's running at a loss. Now, having a property that's running at a loss, in Australia, the government has incentivized that and reduces tax. However, it's a bad model whereby you're only getting back 25% of the 75% that you're putting back into tax. So people are getting themselves into serious struggle with this. It's a model that has caused a lot of frustration and context and a lot of discussion. And so I've used what I did to create this. And when the day I did this, conversion rates skyrocketed. I went up nearly 328%. And that was a huge insight. From that day, everything changed for me about market message and how important it is to be very clear about the clarity of your message. Now, I have two contexts here, and I'll show you what I mean by this. Let me just clear this, and I'll go to my other board. All right, so what I'm going to do is I pulled up my Facebook ads account here, and I'm going to show you what we have done in many aspects. And I do this with our clients, and I think it's a fundamental component to getting real clear on your messaging. Now on my board, I can't use my hand to scroll through this, so I'm going to use my mouse. So just bear with me. Now what this is a mechanism of testing messages. Now here is a line, a whole heap of messages that we've created for that specific niche, our market, right? Cash flow positive real estate is where we target. Now I did multiple different headlines, and I'll read out some of these. How to 3x your rental yields by converting your property. How to 3x your rental yields by converting your property faster. So for instance, how to 3x your rental yields by converting to a co-living house, free cheat sheet. So we tried all these different headlines. Where's some more down here? Increasing your rental income by legally renting out rooms. Negative gearing is dead, roomy house is alive, right? Now, we ran these ads. This is probably one of the most powerful leverage tools I've ever used. Getting market clarity, doing it this way was amazing. We do this repetitively now, but the results that we got from this test was something that stood out, and I've just used that headline ever since, and it's just worked so fantastically because we tested it against our market. We targeted our specific market, and then we ran link click ads on Facebook, which are very easy to do, and the results were quite astonishing. Okay, so my core parameters are, obviously we're looking at cost per click. That's a good indication of what this will look like, but it's not the main outcome. What we are looking at though is the click-through rates and the click-all. These are very important contexts to getting clear about the message. Now, if you have a look at some of these, and I'll read them out to you if you can't see them clearly. If you look at the numbers, we were getting, like for instance, increasing rental income by legally renting out rooms was 1.46 click-through and a 1.72 click-all, which is in by itself is really good. Anything over 1%, that's really good, because a lot of people struggle just to get a 1% on these. You'll see some of them are below 1%. Like this one is 0.97, this one is 1.4, this one is really low. 7 steps to converting your property. People did not like that. That was a 0.55, so 0.5%. So you can see there's big variations in here. And the one that really stood out for us, there were 2 that stood out for us at this time, was, if we look at the click all, we've got a 2.19. But when I saw that, I was like, whoa, that's pretty interesting. And then we had here a 2.3. So 2.19, 2.18, and 2.3. So those were the 3 leading headlines that we used. Now I'll read them out to you. The first one was 7 reasons why investors are flocking to rooming houses. Now that did really well, but that context to me didn't resonate, and the click-through was only 1.5, even though the click-all was 2.18. Then we had this top one here, which did really well, which was at the click-all, it had 2.3%, which is really, really good. And we were going to initially go for that one, which is how to retire in 3 to 5 years renting out bedrooms to urban professionals. Now that was nearly going to be our core headline. But then I took a minute and I thought about this, and I had a look through the click-throughs and the click-alls. And the CTRs reached 2.08%, which was extraordinarily high. And it was a 2.19% click-all on this ad, which was negative gearing is dead, rooming houses are alive. And that was the decision-making process. When we saw that, we were like, that is awesome. It's giving us really clear indications of market that is working. And this headline was something that we could jump into. Now, I did this years and years and years ago. I've kept this data so that I could talk about it and show people. The change of that headline dramatically increased our conversion rates on our website. So getting clear market to fit in your market, your specific market, right? We targeted our specific market here using our data that we already had, made a huge difference, a huge impact. And I urge everyone to think about this as they're building out their market to message, because when you have that, you can get crystal clarity. Going back to this messaging, we then put a lot of money into this and started sending people to it. All of our headlines had this context in. If you remember previously, there was a context of retirement in our headline, right? People wanting to retire fast. That when we did a lot more testing, we found that versus financial freedom, versus, living the life you want, the biggest core message that came out of our testing was retire faster. Which, if we zoom in here, is something we have in all of our messaging going through. So we used negative gearing and retiring faster as our core messaging structure, and that flowed through in all of our messages and created this really awesome outcome for our marketing. All right, moving forward. So if you're enjoying this and you want to see more of the content that we give away freely to help coaches, consultants, experts in the high-ticket coaching and consulting space, go ahead, subscribe. And we share loads of information for free to help you build a successful world-class coaching consulting business. And if you want to come and join me and find out more, you can click a link below. And there's a WhatsApp message. You can WhatsApp message me below and ask questions and find out more about how we can help you build your coaching consulting business. We plug in the Red Diamond Funnel. The Red Diamond Funnel has been a game changer for us. It's structured, it's systematized, it's easy to follow, and you just rinse and repeat through this. And the engineering in this does all the work. So all the automations that we've created and all the flows that happen in here make it super easy to manage and run. All right, so when it comes to messaging specifically, it's important to have these core ingredients, right? Understanding who you serve. Who is it that you even serve? Who are the people that you want to do business with? I see this a lot where people want to help a certain type of person. They want to, help mums, or they want to help dads specifically doing these things, but they don't have clarity to the degree that they know exactly who they're going to help. If you don't know who you help specifically, it makes it very hard to create clear messaging. In our real estate business, what we found was that there was multiple avatars. And when we first started our business, we're trying to navigate and put these people into one type of package. and it didn't work because they had different needs, they had different financial resources, and they had different aspirations. There were 4 core avatars who we could serve. And after a long time of debating and working through this and trying to understand what we wanted and who we wanted to serve, we decided one of those avatars, we needed to scratch them off. They were costing us more money than what the benefit was of it at the time. And we wanted to scale. So we had a $5,000 package, then we had a $15,000 package, and we had probably now we got a $50,000 package, right? And this $15,000 package has an upsell component to it, which is a $25K, maybe more, depending on how we go around this process. But my point is that we realized that at this point, people that wanted to be at this level, we couldn't serve them anymore. Our business was growing too fast, and we needed to be able to serve our clients the right way. So we send them elsewhere now, but knowing that, having that clarity on who we actually serve, made such a huge difference in our business. The things you say no to also impact how quickly you can grow. So knowing who you serve gives you clarity in the front end on how you can create your market to message, your message to market. And people have this in their brain the whole time, right? We call this the bullshit factor. People are skeptical. They don't believe. So you have to understand that this is what you've got to break through. And breaking through, that means meeting them at the place where they're at. Meeting them at that path right at the beginning of their journey. When they've started prioritizing that pain and problem, now you can connect with them and understand what that thing is that's going to get them to that next level. For us in the real estate business, people owning property that costs them more than what it makes is a struggle. So if we could give them a solution to turn that around and make it positive cash flow, that's an amazing thing. So that message, market to message fit, made a huge impact, a huge difference. Then going through and building up the stages to get trust and ultimately the desire to work with us, this is all a message flow. So your message isn't just here, it's all of the pieces of the puzzle. And when you look at a funnel, right, when you have your funnel, for instance, you got social media, you got advertising, right? Each of these pieces need to have message flow, and it needs to be congruent. That's another word that I want you to write down and have as part of that leverage point that we're talking about before, right? It's empathy, authenticity, and true creativity. But I see a lot of people missing out on this. Congruency isn't a fundamentally human trait, but congruency through your messaging is so critically important. What they see in the beginning, they need to see all the way at the end of the process, even in the sales conversation. If you're missing out and you're breaking that congruency, all of a sudden you're going to lose trust, and then it's going to be harder to get those people on that journey. So you have social media working for you. You have a social media engine. That social media engine needs to be clear and defined. If you're going on social media and you're not talking to your clients and speaking to them the same way as you're speaking to them in your sales meeting, right, your sales call, then that disconnect is going to make it harder for them to do business with you. But if you keep that message tight and structured and congruent, it makes the flow through your funnel work so much easier. And that's the fundamentals of it. So I urge you to really consider how your messaging is. And for me, right, our clients, or any clients, it's creating that messaging that has the knitted ingredients that get you to connect with your audience. And it's not just a headline. The headlines are good. Headlines are curiosity driven. They get people to look further. But a headline isn't just everything. It's all of the little pieces, all of the fabric that you're stitching together to get your clients down a path. You create a core story, a storyline. And from that storyline, you can then build your messaging so that you can take your people on that journey. And what I mean by that is your storyline is the thing that gets people moving forward, because they want to do business with you if you're authentic, if you connect with them, if they can see that you're the person they want to work with. So status and trust work together to drive this whole engine. You need to have authentic status, right? It's not just fake status. You have to have status that's real. Like, I've done this stuff in the past. I can help you right? I have lots of people following me. I have lots of people subscribing to my channel. People can see that. That builds status. And then your storyline, that helps to break through this trust barrier. And then your storyline, the authenticity, is going to get people down this path so much faster. And authenticity means being yourself, opening up to people, having them see inside of you the person that you are. Without all the hype and the fluffy bits and, trying to boost yourself in a way that's not real. Do something, let people see that you can do that thing, and then show them what the pathway is going to look like. Right? What's that journey going to look like with you? Be real, be authentic, and be clear. And when you can do these things, you're going to have a successful business that can look after itself. And then the outline through your funnel, everything just works so much better, right? Plugging in those message dynamics is super important. So I would suggest going and downloading the template that I provided in this video below. Have a look through it, read through it. Tell me what you think, comment on this, and provide some feedback. Maybe I can learn from you. Thank you so much. My name is Matthew White. And if you could please go and watch this next video where I talk about more about how you can build your high-ticket coaching and consulting business and accelerate in this space today. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.